I'm just going to share a couple of things with you first and then pass this off to the people who are really going to give you much deeper information. So the high school is, I hope you learned from your kids this week, or today, and yesterday, and last week, what a great place we have. We had so much fun with your kids as they came up and they experienced classes and lunch and break, and we fed them a lot. They ate a lot while they were up here. But that was a lot of fun, and they got to know several of the teachers. They got to experience some classes. They got to hear from some students. They got to ask questions, and I think it was just a really good, informative time. But our goal was to send them away wanting just a little bit more information. So that's what tonight is all about. We collected feedback from them, and they said, well, we want to know about courses, and we want to know about registering for classes. We said, well, you got to come Monday night. That's where you learn all that. So that's what tonight is about. As we go through this evening, I am going to introduce you to one person, and then we're going to just kind of pass the mic and go down the line. The first person I'm going to introduce you to, and I'm going to be around all evening, so you're welcome to find me if you have any additional questions that don't get answered. But the first person I'm going to introduce you to is Mr. John Day, the assistant principal in the high school.
Good evening. See a lot of familiar faces, and I'm so thankful that you all made the effort to come out tonight. I have just a couple of slides. I don't want to quickly go through them, but there's a lot of information, and this isn't the absolute most important. So we're going to kind of quickly go over it. On the slides, you can see all the different universities and colleges that our students in 2019, the graduating class selected. So quite a wide variety of different colleges. I also wanted to point out, and boy, you're sitting there thinking, if you were like me, whoa, easy. I'm just thinking about next year. But we do want to paint the picture of what is to come, what's out there. So you'll hear a lot of information specifically about graduation with me, but then you'll hear the specifics about next year. The scholarship awarded, the dollar amounts you can see, quite significant in terms of all the different dollars that our students have graduated. Also take note of the number of students that are there. Our teachers do a wonderful job of challenging and supporting our students. And this is one of the end goals. In fact, you'll see a video tonight that will show, I guess probably the lighter side of some of the freshman teachers. But I'm getting a little ahead of myself. You'll see their song and dance, literally, in a little bit. The average ACT scores are up on the screen, and you can see all of the information there. We do have the highest ACT of any Christian school in Knoxville, in the greater Knoxville area, and that's something that we're very proud of. Along the way, we have several people that will help your student, your child, on their journey, more than just the teachers. We've got a wonderful staff. I want to introduce Miss Jost. Shelley Jost is in the back of the room. And in just a minute, she's going to slide out the doors, and she's going to go into the back of the library. We have an academic center, which is a little bit different than the middle school. So the academic center, the students heard a little description of that. All different types of needs for students, whether it's our writing center, if they have, trying to get over that hump with their research paper. And you're looking at it and you're going, hey, you're falling behind on your cards. We've got a staff member there that your child can go to during their study hall, come to during lunch, so different times. And then we have math and chemistry tutor that's in there. I call her a tutor. I guess it's, help. And then Miss Jost, of course. Also Miss Harrison, who's our testing coordinator, is also support. So we have a tremendous support system for your child there in the Learning Center, in the Academic Center. I also want to introduce quickly, as they come on up, and I'm going to hand off the baton to our two counselors, Ms. Stauffer, Cindy Stauffer, and Pamela Kilburn.
Good evening. We are so very excited to see you here. Just so you know, I have had a high schooler here for each of the last 6 years. 2 of my high schoolers are now at UT, and 2 are still in the high school. So I have been living the high school life for a long time, and I can't wait to help you, especially those of you brand new to the high school. I cannot wait to help you navigate the high school. First thing, we like to go through and remind everybody. Okay, I'll wait and see if I need that. These are what we call the 4 domains of school counseling. This is by the American School Counseling Association. These are not things we made up. Mostly what we're talking about tonight is the academic part of the domain. So academic is things like scheduling. That's the very first thing we do. But it's all the way through the school. If you need a parent-teacher conference, you can come to us and ask for that at any time. If you need us to help you get with the academic center or help your child get a better schedule or better study habits, anything that's in the academic realm, we can help with. And we're kind of preemptive. So before maybe they've needed to go to the academic center, they can come to us and we can try to get them started off the right way. The second domain is social, personal, and spiritual. And that is for all the miscellaneous things, like your student hasn't found someone to eat lunch with. They don't even know what the possibilities are in terms of where they can eat lunch. Or you've had some kind of a family emergency, illness, or something that might be affecting your student and you want us to know. We can help check in on your student at any time. Please let us know things going on in your family. Also, we encourage our students in this realm, we encourage them to learn how to be resourceful, to use their resources, to have a growth mindset where when they run across new challenges, they say, I don't know how to do this yet. And we try to help remind them there are going to be a lot of new things in high school, and they will learn to do them, but they need to keep the open-minded growth mindset. And again, we try to help them be organized from the very beginning. The next domain that we have is career, and then finally college. And we kind of roll those together. Career is where we're going to be sitting down with your freshmen to actually give them career assessments this year so they can see, hey, what am I naturally interested in? What am I good at? What might I want to focus in? Where might I want to take my elective? So we go through that freshman year so they can have that information for the rest of their high school career. Then we work with them, the same students. We bring them in and work their schedule freshman year, but we work with them each year to make sure that they're on track for the college that they'd like to go to or the caliber college they'd like to go to. So we will be involved with them throughout their high school career. Okay, what are the CAK graduation requirements? This is where we start with scheduling. We like to look at the whole thing. We call it the 6-year plan. Mrs. Kilburn's going to go over the 6-year plan in detail, but I would like to show you a few things here. This is my first time with one of these. Okay, so these are the general things that everyone will need. We start off with Bible. They're going to have a Bible every year. So 4 credits of Bible. English. Every year, your student will have an English. Math. Every year, your student will have a math. They'll either start with Algebra 1 if they've been in pre-algebra this year, or they'll go right into geometry. Science. 3 of the 4 years, they will have a science. The first 2 years are already scripted. It's biology this year, and then chemistry the 10th grade year, and then they'll pick 1 or 2 additional sciences. Social studies, 3 of the years. Again, that's already set. The only year that doesn't have a social studies already set and required is sophomore year. They do have the option that year of taking their first AP class, advanced placement class, and it would be European history. But many of our sophomores opt not to do that and go ahead and pick up some other required classes or an elective that year. Wellness and PE, all students must have the wellness class. The wellness mostly is taken freshman year, but you do have an option of doing it in the summer. So your students could take wellness this summer. It's a great thing to do in the summer because, for one thing, you get to do more fun things in the summer. It's pretty much the month of June. It starts the Wednesday after Memorial Day. It goes almost until the end of June from 8 until 1:30 every day. But they get to do fun things. Well, they walk the neighborhoods, they go bowling, they go rafting, all kinds of things that they would not be able to do during a regular school day. So I recommend it if you happen to have the month of June open and you want to do something, want to have your child do something very productive. They could go ahead and knock out the wellness. They could also do it after ninth grade year if they didn't pick it up during ninth grade. But it's something that must be done. It's a state requirement. Also, a PE, half credit of PE, that can be picked up by doing a sport. And there are some other ways that you can pick up that half credit if you are not in a sport. We can talk to you about that individually. World language, 2 years of a language, 2 consecutive years, and we offer French and Spanish here in the high school. Arts, 1 art credit, so that can either be Art 1, it can be choir, it can be musical theater, or it can be band. So any combination, but it needs to be 1 year of one of those items. Now, the great thing about if you take art, it opens up a lot of other electives that Art 1 is the prerequisite for, things like graphic design or Art 2 or photography, so something to consider there. Personal finance. This is something that used to be under our Bible, but we've broken it out now, so it's its own 1 semester class, and that can be taken sometime during high school. It's a requirement, so we will make sure that it gets taken, but it's not locked into any certain time during the 4 years. And then electives, at least 1 credit of electives, and 24 total credits. The next thing I'm going to talk about is what we call our standard diploma versus our honors diploma. So I'd like you to listen carefully because targeting the honors diploma is a great thing to do when you're coming in. Okay, I just said that the requirement was 24 total credits. For the honors diploma, it's 26 credits, so 2 additional electives. Also, during the 4 years to earn the honors diploma, you must take 4 honors classes. That can be any combination of honors, AP, or dual enrollment. So that could be 1 per year, or it could be a whole bunch more than that. But the minimum requirement for the honors diploma is 4 between these. And the minimum GPA is a 3.5. And of course, no out-of-school suspensions, but I'm not expecting that we're going to have any of those with this group. This is a great group. Also, as you can see, the intersection of the 2 circles, for the standard diploma and the honors diploma, there is a capstone project. That is a 40-hour project that is, we learn about it and plan it in the junior year. It's normally, my recommendation is to do the project the summer between junior year and senior years. Then you kind of present the project. So you brief out about what you did and what you learned and what you got out of the project. So this will, junior and senior year, your student will be involved with the capstone. It's really best if they wrap up the capstone like as soon as possible senior year because they're going to be super involved with college applications the beginning of senior year also. And then community service, we have a requirement of 10 hours freshman year inside the high school. Sophomore year, it's 10 hours off campus somewhere. So the 10 hours freshman year, they don't actually have to be in the high school. They have to be on the campus somewhere. and then the other 10 sophomore year can be anywhere in the community. Okay, this is a list of all the honors classes that we have in the high school. So this is the honors level. When a student takes an honors class, not only are they getting just a little bit more ready for college because it moves a little faster, there's a little more to balance, but also there is a 0.5 grade bump that goes in. So for example, if your student gets an A in the honors class, instead of getting a 4.0 figured into their GPA, it's bumped by 0.5, so it's a 4.5 figured into the GPA. So there is a little advantage from a GPA perspective to take honors classes. But what we like to say is, you know your students, and we are happy to meet with students and parents together and talk about this. We would love it if you would go around in the second hour of this tonight and talk to the individual teachers about what level is the right level for your student and what combination of honors and what we call CP, which are the college placement, the college prep, they're the regular standard classes. So what combination of CP and honors might be the right combination for your student next year? So these are all of our honors classes, not just the ones freshman year. We do have what's called an honors contract, and we require students who are taking honors classes to fill out that honors contract the first week of school next year. And it has certain commitments on the honors contract that they're accepting the level of work. If there's a problem and a student makes below a C in any given quarter in an honors class, they are involuntarily dropped to the CP version of that class. Also, if you're not sure which way to go, but you kind of think honors is the right way to go, and we do the schedule with your best guess as to what's right for your student, there is some time that first quarter where your student could drop from honors down to CP. What we do is we try to get it as close to right as possible. So we try to place them correctly, because what happens is if they do decide to drop down, it very often changes their schedule because the same teacher teaches the honors and the CP. And students, once they get started and they find out where their friends are and they kind of get used to their schedule, they're not too big on changing it up. So that's something to keep in mind. Also, if you do start in an honors class and then decide you need to move to a CP, the average that you had comes with you. So if you're going to make that change, it would need to be made very early, not once you have a C average already and then you're bringing that C average with you into the CP class. Make sense? I'm going to hand this over now to Mrs. Kilburn. She is the counselor for last names starting with L through Z.
All right, I am so unsure how we managed to squeeze so many amazing families into such a small, sweet class, but I'm pretty excited about it, just saying. And whether we know you or not, I hope you know that we are going to take extraordinary care of your student in the high school and of your family. If you are unsure of that, ask one of your neighbors who maybe has been here for a while. I'm sure they'll tell you that. But we love you guys. We're here for you guys. As you were coming in, a lot of families said, I'm not sure if I can do this. This is really heart-wrenching, having a student come to the high school for the first time. We totally get that. We're here for you guys in that, and we're going to make it as easy and seamless as possible. So we are here for you. Mrs. Stauffer mentioned students don't typically like to change their schedule after school started. So what we like to do before that, to be preemptive, is if you want to schedule a meeting and we'll look over your 4-year plan, send us an email, give us a call, whatever you need to do to get the answers to help you make good choices, we are here for you guys in this process. So we're going to give you a lot of information tonight. Sometimes it can be kind of information overload. That's why we're sending a lot of it home with you. You have a handbook that has way more details about all this stuff in it. Look through your handbook at home later. Don't be afraid to make a phone call or schedule an appointment because we're always glad to help. Okay, so, oh, that's still honors. Nope, that's the wrong way. Sorry. I'm going to talk to you guys. So I just said not to be scared about high school, and now I'm going to talk about AP classes. AP classes are not scary. High school's not scary. Your 4-year plan's not scary. But like Mr. Day said, you guys probably wonder, why are we talking about college before you guys are even in high school? Why are we talking about AP and dual enrollment classes before you guys are even in high school? The reason for that is it's very important to have the big picture in mind when you're making these choices. Like, if you want to be taking AP and dual enrollment classes your junior and senior year, you need to be on track for that. You need to have taken what's called the prerequisite courses, and we'll talk about that in a bit, but the classes that will get you prepared for those higher level courses, and you need to make the grades to qualify you for those higher level courses. So this is a list of AP classes. AP are college level courses. These are very, like if you're going to Vanderbilt, Stanford, Harvard, Duke, a highly selective college, they love AP classes because they're based on national standards set by the College Board. They're the highest standard that you can get. So you're going to want to, if you're thinking about those schools, consider some AP classes. This is a list of the classes that we currently offer, and those are expanding each year. So it doesn't apply to your freshman year, but as you look to your 6-year plan, you might have some of those penciled in. These are the dual enrollment classes that we offer on campus. So we offer 8 dual enrollment classes, and this can be a little bit tricky to understand. So I think it's good to hear this now and to keep repeating it over the years just to reinforce it, because sometimes this can be confusing. First of all, the difference between AP and dual enrollment. I mentioned the national standards. AP is considered to be the most prestigious for the selective colleges. Dual enrollment is a very good option. It just depends on what you're looking for. So, for example, if you're going to Vanderbilt, you probably want to lean towards AP. If you're going to UT Knoxville, you probably want to lean towards dual enrollment, because different colleges have different preferences as far as giving you credit and accepting the credit at their school. So for dual enrollment, how it works is if you pass the class, you get the credit. With AP, if you pass the exam, there's really no pass. Every college has a different score, but it's usually around a 3 or higher on the exam. You can get college credit depending on the college's policy. So that just kind of helps you know as you look towards that junior and senior year which one you might lean towards. The 8 classes are History 221 and 222, English 109 and 110, English 213 and 214, and Physics 241 and 242. So I mentioned it can be confusing. I just said there's 8 classes, but it looks like 4 if you look at the far left. That's because 1 high school credit equals 6 college credits. Does that make sense? It's a different system. So this visual depiction kind of helps to make sense of that, where you can see each semester is 3 credits for a college class. So it says 3 college credits per course. This is a course, and this is a course. So that's a total of 6 credits there. So these are both weighted a full GPA point on your GPA, so we give you some extra credit for the hard work that you put into those courses. Also, the honors waiver applies to that too. So what Mrs. Stauffer just said about making sure that you make a good choice, look at the prerequisites. The prerequisites are in your handbook. We're not going to go over those in detail tonight, but that program of studies that you have tells you the prerequisites. They are so reliable, I promise. So we have over the years looked at those. We've tweaked them occasionally, but they're very consistent, because what we have found is students who have met the prerequisites tend to be very successful in the courses that they are signing up for. Students who have not met the prerequisites tend to really, really struggle. And it's okay to struggle. Like, we want you guys to struggle to some extent because we want you to challenge yourself. We want you to push yourself and to do your best, but we don't want you to struggle in an unhealthy way. We don't want you to get overwhelmed. We don't want you to get burned out. We want you to struggle in a productive way. Okay, so this is our 6-year plan of study. So this is the thing that you all probably came here to talk about tonight. This is Sometimes students, when they look at this form and they see all the blanks, they kind of panic. Please don't panic. We're going to help you fill that out, and it kind of fills itself out as we go through it. And I'm going to talk about kind of line by line what's on here. So the first thing is your middle school courses. So if you took Algebra 1 in middle school, you're going to put that in under math in the far left column because that counts for a high school credit. So you can put Algebra 1 there. If you took Spanish 1 or French 1, the same applies under world languages. So you've already got 1, maybe 2 credits for high school already before even getting started. So that's great. I think the easiest way to look at this form is subject by subject. So when we meet and go over this with students, what we usually do is we say, okay, let's look at what they want to do is they want to like target practice it and just randomly fill in things that they're excited about, which is fun, but we try to keep them kind of focused and go line by line. So the first one is Bible. That's filled out already. So there's a year of Bible each year. That's one thing that you guys don't have to worry about. It's already filled out for you. Similar with English, there's 4 years of English. Those are required, but there are some levels that you're going to have some options with. So there's CP and honors freshman year and sophomore year. And then when you get up to junior and senior year, you have more options with dual enrollment and AP for English. So again, look at that prerequisites list. You guys are going to have some time after we meet today to go around and meet with these teachers. Their rooms are open, and you can ask questions like, hey, what's the workload difference between CP and honors? Or, hey, how many students on average take honors English versus CP? Do most students or do not very many? So those types of questions can help you feel confident about your choice. So the easy thing it would be so easy for me up here to just be like, okay, everybody take honors. Honors is for everybody. You should all sign up, take the hardest classes. You should all push yourself, but honors is not for everybody. So the thing to think about as you make those choices is what makes sense for your student. Not what are all my friends doing, not what did your older sister's best friend's brother tell you to take, not, don't be influenced by those things. Think about what makes sense for you and what would be a good fit for you and prepare you for your goals. So you've got 4 years of English, got some levels there. Social studies is the next line. You'll be taking world history, either CP or honors next year. And again, you look at the prerequisites list to help you choose that. There's a total of 4 honors classes that you can take freshman year. Most students do not take 4. So what we say is go towards your strengths. If you're going to choose, like, especially if you're an athlete and you're trying to juggle a lot of athletic practices and you've got all these honors classes, you may have to make some choices because there is going to be more homework in the honors classes. So if you do have to make a choice, play to your strengths. Take the classes that you're most interested in and that you excel in most easily. So social studies, we have CP or honors. Sophomore year, you get a little break in social studies, but there are some options there. You can do contemporary issues or AP European history. And then junior year is US history, CP dual enrollment in AP, and then senior year is government and econ. Math is totally blank because different students are on different tracks here, and that's fine. There's some options for math, but basically, if you took algebra this year, you're going to be going into geometry freshman year. So Algebra 1 students go into either CP or honors geometry. If you took pre-algebra, you're going to be going into Algebra 1 or honors Algebra 1 this year. And then the progression is pre-algebra, Algebra 1, geometry, Algebra 2, pre-calculus, calculus. And then some students also fit in statistics somewhere in there. Often sophomore year is a common time that students will think about statistics if they want to add that in. So that's sort of the math trajectory. That's also in your handbook. So don't feel like you have to memorize everything that I'm telling you guys tonight. There is like exhaustive details in that handbook. We've put everything in there. All the trajectory is laid out there in the back for you. All right, science. So this year you guys will be doing biology. You have honors or CP biology, and then honors or CP chemistry. The third year, you need one more science, there are some options there. So that could be an environmental science, zoology and forensics, AP Bio, AP Chemistry, Physics. There's lots of options once you get up to that third year. And you'll have some time to kind of figure that out, because as you take biology and chemistry, you'll figure out what you like and what you're good at, and that'll help you make a good choice for that junior year. Biology, a lot of students will say there's the biggest difference between CP and honors is in biology, is what we hear, because biology is hard. On the ACT even, they say that students are least likely to meet the benchmark on science because of biology. Biology is so hard. And students who are biology majors tend to meet that benchmark. Students who are not struggle. So biology is a tough class, but if you love science, you're going to love biology. So if you're more of an English and history person and you're looking to maybe scale back and you're looking to let go of an honors course, you might think about holding off on biology and or chemistry. So that's science. World languages. This is probably the trickiest line on the form. And remember, I said each student is so different. So you know your student best. Mrs. Stauffer said, you know your students' strengths, you know your students' interests. Foreign language, you will probably hear people say, oh, everybody should take 4 years, or everybody should only take 2 years. Well, it depends on your student. So if your student loves foreign language and they've already taken it and they have an interest, definitely start this year, because you want to leave that third and fourth year option open for them. They can't go back and change that once they've committed to it. If your student is thinking about going to a highly selective college or university, you're going to want to leave that fourth year option open. Highly selective colleges want to see at least 3 years of foreign language, typically, from all students coming in. So you're going to want to leave that option open. If you are maybe not as strong in, let's say, English or foreign language, or maybe you've taken foreign language in middle school and you didn't really love it and you kind of struggled, and you're confident that you only want to take 2 years, you might want to hold off on the foreign language. That can give you an opportunity to take a study hall. It can also help because most of our students, like 98-ish%, are going to a liberal arts school and are going to need some more foreign language in the future in college. So let's just say they took Spanish 1 freshman year, Spanish 2 sophomore year, no foreign language junior year, no foreign language senior year, and then they had to pick it back up freshman year of college. They have 2 years to forget all of the foreign language that they have spent so much time and effort learning for 2 years. And if they struggle, chances are they will forget and lose a lot of it. So if your student is confident that they're only going to take 2, we recommend waiting until junior or senior year. But if they have any inclination that they may want to do more than that, they need to start freshman year. Mission trips, speaking in a foreign language in an occupational setting, anything that they may want to, or go to we talked about highly selective college, if they may want to use that foreign language, leave that option open. Otherwise, think about moving it back. Visual performing arts, they needed at least 1. Their options are choir, band, musical theater, so and general art. So whatever you're interested in, you need at least 1 of those. Mrs. Stauffer mentioned if you're interested in general art in particular, it'd be good to consider taking that freshman year so that you can have more options in your sophomore, junior, and senior year. There's classes like digital design, photography, honors art, AP studio art. Taking general art freshman year opens up all of those options because general art is a prerequisite. You have to take that one first. So that's visual performing art. You need at least 1. And anything beyond 1 is going to count as an elective credit, which we'll talk about in just a second. The next line is personal finance. So that used to be kind of lumped in Bible. We have moved that out of Bible now. So if you have an older sibling, they may have taken personal finance as one of their junior years of Bible. That has changed. So now there's 4 years of Bible and personal finance. You may be like, wait a minute. Does that mean that my student needs more credits to graduate? They don't. What we've done is redistributed the elective credits, so they still need the same total number of credits at the bottom, just fewer elective credits because the personal finance has taken out of that elective credit category. So they need a half credit. They can take that sophomore year, junior year, or senior year. That's not a freshman class. So You might be wondering, what is a freshman class? We have tried to make that super easy for you guys. On your form, you got a form with all of the course offerings on it. Anything that is highlighted yellow is a freshman class. So those are the ones that you have to pick from this year. All right, so the next one is wellness and PE. Mrs. Stauffer mentioned these. Wellness is a full year-long class, and PE is a half credit. Sometimes students get these confused, and they think, okay, if I play a sport, that means that I don't have to do wellness. That is not true, okay? If you play a sport, that can count for the half credit of PE. It only counts one time, so you don't get like 2 credits if you play a sport every year. You get a half credit for however many years you participate in a sport. You need at least 1 season to get that half credit, and you need to fill out the PE form to get it. Wellness is a class that every single student takes, whether they're an athlete or not. But as Mrs. Stauffer mentioned, you can take it over the summer. So if you want to take it over the summer, that's a fun way to do it. Just maybe write that in. If you're planning on doing summer, write summer in right here so that we know and we don't accidentally schedule you in wellness freshman year. So the next one is elective. So do you guys know what an elective is? Sometimes when I ask students that, they'll say like art is an elective. Art is actually not an elective because it usually counts under that visual performing art requirement. So it's a required for graduation class. So in that case, it's not an elective. An elective in this context is anything extra. So if you were to take, let's say, an extra year of social studies, because you only need 3, but you can take 4. That 4th year, that extra year, is an elective credit. So it's extra. It could be an extra social studies. It could be an extra math, an extra visual performing art. It could be an extra anything. It's just an extra class. You need at least 1 of those for the regular diploma and a total of 3 for the honors diploma because there's 2 extra up here for the honors diploma. Study hall does not count as a credit. Sorry, guys. But some students do need a study hall in their schedule. Think about your sports commitments. Think about your time after school at home. Do you have enough time to do homework? Are you taking a lot of honors classes? Do you need that study hall designated to get your work done? All right. Oh, one thing I forgot to mention, the last column is on your 6-year plan. It used to be a 4-year plan. If you have older siblings, you probably had a 4-year plan. But we've made it a 6-year plan because we want to make sure you know about your 8th grade credit. We also want to make sure you know about your college credit because remember, we said if you're taking AP and dual enrollment classes, you may get college credit for those. So that last column on the far right is for those of you who are thinking about taking AP and dual enrollment. You can go ahead and list those in that column so you know how many college credits you may get for taking those. All right, so the 6-year plan is a paper form. You are going to turn that paper form into the middle school, to Mrs. McPherson, and she'll get them up to us in the high school. What I would recommend is take a picture of it before you turn it in so you have a copy. Save it like on your Google Drive or somewhere where you'll have access to it. But take a picture, make a copy, do something so that you can keep it. And then you're going to turn the paper version in, and we'll use that we'll look it over to make sure that your student has made some good choices. Your course request is going to go in on Fax. So when you log into your Fax account, I think it's actually open right now. We are tweaking it a little bit as we go because this is sort of new, the system that we're doing this year. But you'll be able to put in your course requests on Fax. So what that means is you're just going to look at your first column under 9th grade year, and just those classes are going to get entered on Fax. Be careful when you do this because every year we tell students, so it says on the bottom of your 6-year plan that you can take, I think it says 6 to 7. You can actually, 6 to 8. You can take 8 classes if you have a 0 period. 0 period happens in the morning before school. There are a few classes offered. Sometimes it's wellness, sometimes Spanish 1, general art, just a handful of classes. If you end up taking an extra class during 0 period, and you have a full day schedule, you could end up with 8 credits. not super common. I'm not recommending that to students, especially if you do a sport, but you theoretically could do up to 8 credits. So most students end up at like 6 or 7 freshman year, which is fine. And so when you fill out your form, think about this. If you have like 12 classes on your registration form, do you think you filled that form out right? No. 6 or 7, maybe 8. Every year there's the one student who's got like 27 classes that he signed up for freshman year, and we're like, wow, ambitious, okay? So, so make sure you've checked that over. It can be a little tricky because there are semester classes, and sometimes it can be actually more than 6 or 7 because you'll have to choose 2 for different semesters. But make sure there's not like 27. That would be unusual. Okay, so this is what you're going to be entering on FACS. This matches your 6-year plan exactly. So a Bible class, an English class. They're all going to be blank when you go in. They're not filled out like they are on the form. So, but you'll know what to fill out because it's listed. So Bible, English, algebra, geometry, biology. Make sure to select the level that you're looking for. And so this is a pretty typical selection of freshman classes. Okay. Mr. Day mentioned that your freshman teachers have created a fun video for you guys, and you're going to get to meet them in just a minute. They're here tonight in their classrooms, but this is a special word from your freshman teachers.
Hello, freshmen. Welcome to your orientation video. My name's Coach K. I'm going to tell you a little bit about 9th grade here at CAK. I teach world history, a class you have to take. You'll either get to take honors or CP, and if you're interested in honors, you need to have an 85 in both history and English, and probably like to write because you want to take upper level history classes one day. Look forward to seeing you.
In the 9th grade English program, we have 2 levels. We have CP and honors. If you want to take honors, you have to have at least a B average in your 8th grade English and a recommendation from your teacher. You need to take honors if you're planning on taking AP or dual enrollment in your junior or senior years. And that's what you have to know for English in the 9th grade.
Hey freshmen, this is your, you guessed it, Bible teacher, Mrs. Lauer. This year we're going to be getting into the Old Testament, and every step of the way we're going to see where Jesus shows up in the Old Testament.
Hey guys, my name is Miss Shore and I'm your biology teacher. Do you know the difference between a beaker and a graduated cylinder? I really hope you love doing experiments because we're going to be doing lots of experiments in biology.
Hi, I'm Mrs. Steimer.
And I'm Mrs. Novikov.
We are your 9th grade math teachers. If you are currently taking pre-algebra, then you will take Algebra 1 or Honors Algebra 1 next year. If you are currently taking algebra, then you will take
Geometry!
or
Honors Geometry!
That's right. Let's give them a round of applause. That's great. That is just really convicting. I need to be more fun. Aren't your freshman teachers so fun? Doesn't that just make you so excited about freshman year to think about how much fun it's going to be? All right, just a few more things. We've got about 10 minutes left until we start the tour part of the evening. So then the next thing, There we go. The next thing is clubs and activities. So there are a list of these things. I'm not going to read them off to you guys because they're in your handbook, but the clubs and activities that you can get involved in the high school, if you look at the list and you're like, wait a minute, I really want to do fishing club or something that's not on the list. Students add things to this list all the time. You just need a faculty sponsor, and you can get a club added to the list, but there's lots of really great options. Blue Crew is like a pep club. Birding Club is new this year. They have a lot of fun. Robotics Club. Dr. Mawazin is going to be here tonight to talk to you guys about Robotics Club. I don't know if you've heard about this or not, but they're kind of a big deal. Like, they win, and like they just came in a very, very close second in a really big competition. Guess who won first place? a group that was sponsored by NASA. And we very nearly beat them. It was like we were following it on the group me that we have with all the teachers, and everyone was like on pins and needles. I passed out. It was intense, but it was really, really impressive. Yes, I know. It was a close call, but next year, we got this. Next year, we're going to get it. All right. All right. So this is some leadership opportunities. Colleges, you guys listen up. Colleges love the word leadership. If you are a leader or if you want to be a leader, seek out opportunities to do that and to build your resume. These are a few things: Youth Leadership Knoxville, Governor's School, Boys State and Girls State. These things look really impressive to colleges, and they will give you a lot of really great material to write on your college application senior year. So definitely be thinking about leadership opportunities. Honor societies, we have Mu Alpha Theta, National Honor Society, and National English Honor Society. And there's lots of different trips, mission trips, and travel and stuff that you can do in the high school as well. Another thing about the high school, there is, just to give you guys a heads up, I have parents tell me this all the time, I wish I had known that, whatever. One of the things is, I wish I had known that there's going to be a lot of really important emails that I need to keep an eye out for. Mrs. Wallace sends out an email every Friday, the Principal News. It goes to students and parents. So students, read the Principal News. Parents, you too. It is full of announcements. It's beautiful. It's got a great graphic design feature to it. It's lovely. And it's got lots of really important announcements about things that are coming up. There's always something coming up in the high school. Our schedule is packed. We go from one big thing to the next big thing, and we do our best to keep you guys in the loop, but that's how we do it. So you've got to read your email. All right, so also, okay, a few other places. Your email, fax, and the CAK calendar is where you can go to find out about all that stuff. Next steps. So now that you have all of this information, you have, what is it? Is it 2 weeks to turn it in? Yeah. So not this coming Friday, but the following Friday. On March 6th, you're going to turn in your form, your 6-year plan, and you have until that Sunday, the 8th, to enter everything on fax. So you're going to, remember, save a copy of your form so that you can easily do that, because you're just going to look at the copy, whether it's on your phone or a printed copy. But you're going to turn in the paper to the, middle school, yeah. You're going to turn the paper into the middle school, and you are going to get an email with the summer school registration by the end of the week this week. Keep an eye out for that. So summer school classes are still being finalized right now, but as soon as we have that information, we're going to email you that this week. That gets turned in with your registration form. Those are the 2 paper forms, the summer school and the 6-year plan. Electronically, where are you going to go to submit your course requests for next year? Fax, right. That is due by the 8th. All right. We have about 5 minutes left. We finished a few minutes early, which is great. We are going to go ahead and dismiss you to the self-guided tour. So teachers are set up all around the building. One of the things that you picked up is a map. So you're going to use that map to find the classes that you want to visit. Mrs. Stauffer and I will be in our offices. If you'd like to stop by and talk to us there, we'd be glad to do that. We will be here for the next hour. So have fun, and we'll be here for you.